This is Planet Music.
Welcome to Planet Music from the makers of Planet Marzipan.
In a streaming world, we're proud to be a podcast that celebrates the art of the album. Shall we get going? Hello and welcome to Planet Music. I am Meza. I'm here with my good friends
Craig
and
Michael.
didn't work that out in advance, did we?
No,
And Michael and Gray. There you go. That's the
Amateurs.
standard listeners, complete amateurs. As you can tell from the title of the episode, we're doing a relatively new release. It's the most recent album we've discussed so far, and it is Steven Wilson's 8th studio album, The Overview, which was released on the 14th of March 2025.
How's that happened?
Sorry?
How's that happened? How's it 8 albums already? It seems like yesterday he was doing Insurgentes.
Yeah. He just got to the toilet and he's got another one, hasn't he? You know, it's quick.
Yeah.
This stylistically is a return to his prog roots. It came out when 3 of the 4 of us were at a Marillion weekend. So the Marillion is our other podcast, as some of our listeners might know.
As 99.9% of our listeners will know.
Yeah, all right, most of them, yeah. But it came out on the Friday that we were in Port Zealand. So I know, Gray, you and I had a bit of a sneaky listen, didn't we? And Craig heard it because I was playing it in the chalet.
Yeah.
And then there was the panic of this other version that was released. So
Yeah.
you all quickly
Come on,
got on
yeah.
everybody's phones and things like that to get yet another copy of, to knock you up to like whatever number.
That was the day John
version,
realised the
whatever.
benefits of a VPN, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Craig has a VPN for all his porn. So I just borrowed Craig's. Some of that specialist stuff that he likes.
Coming soon, Planet Porn.
It's interesting though, because
It's nothing to do with analog gimp masks, like you know.
it's interesting because I remember the discussion. Was it the Saturday morning we were doing a pod and we discussed it
Yeah.
quick beforehand?
Yeah.
And I think my opinion has kind of flipped from what it was originally.
Okay.
Because there was one of the, obviously, we're going to go through it, but one of the chunks of music I really like. The other chunk of music, I'm like, I'm not sure if it works. I think it's the other way around now. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Well, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in on face value. And, I know Craig's not particularly a prog fan, although he used to be a Porcupine Tree fan, didn't you, back in the day?
I like Porcupine Tree. It's just when they go into their metally stuff that it leaves me a bit cold. But I like the earlier Floydy kind of influenced stuff more.
Yeah.
I mean, albums like Light Bulb Sun, I absolutely adore. I think it's that's my favourite. But we go on.
Yeah. And Mikey, you're not a particular progger either, are you?
Well, not particularly, but what I do like, I love, and I think, and since this podcast started, I've definitely had my eyes open to a lot more that I've missed or neglected. I'm quite a bit of a Steven Wilson virgin, I have to say. Obviously, I've seen them in Porcupine Tree when they've supported Marillion in the past, and obviously he produced and co-wrote and played on the Fish album Sunset at Empire, which I'm a major fan of. So I've come into this quite green and pleasantly surprised, I have to say.
Cool. Very good. Okay.
Lock up your wallet.
Craig will have a
price of the red vinyl already has gone
yeah.
crazy, yeah.
So, shall we start with the Wikipedia entry?
Go for broke.
Okay, so The Overview is the 8th studio album by English progressive rock musician Steven Wilson, released on the 14th of March 2025 via Fiction Records. Featuring only two 20-minute tracks, it returned to a progressive sound after Wilson had previously moved into more electronic territory with his 2 preceding releases. The record is a concept album about the overview effect, a cognitive shift caused by viewing the Earth from space. This concept was utilized as a starting point for the sound of the record, which was described by Wilson as being similar to acts such as Pink Floyd, Tangerine Dream and Vangelis in a modern context. Wilson has stated that the album is going to be considerably more progressive rock influence than much of his recent work, stating that he felt the concept geared itself towards the genre. Okay. Now, we've touched upon, there are lots of different versions of this. Well, there's lots of different ways to buy this album, one of which is the disconnected version, which we've used as the basis for our review, I think, haven't we, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly more easier to talk about sections of tracks rather than just picking side 1 and side 2 and trying to stay.
Without good, like at 1 minute 59, it changes over, and
Yeah,
8 minutes 24 after that. A bit,
So if you've got the album, it's still the same music. It's the disconnected version has edits that make them sort of 5 or 6 minute tracks, but all the sections are the same as you've got on your version. So side 1 is Objects Outlive Us, and it starts just for Mikey with a falsetto a cappella of Stephen talking about a monkey's paw.
Yeah. See, I actually like this.
Yeah, okay.
And I think the fact that it's later bookended towards the end of the 23 minutes or whatever it is, the first side, really works for me. When I was listening to the lyrics, I honestly didn't have a clue what he was talking about. And I recently watched on YouTube an interview that he had with the Prog Report, and he kind of goes into some of the ins and outs of the album. And he kind of explains that it's basically this guy meeting an alien in a misty open field. And I was like, right, okay, now I get it. Now I get it. But I kind of watched that Prog Report interview after I've listened to the album. And I have to say, I've listened to the album through now. It must be at least 7 or 8 times in the last 3 weeks. It's definitely gripping in certain places, and I think it's a really nice opener. I think it sets the scene. It's only a couple of minutes long, isn't it? But it's atmospheric.
1 minute and 58.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think it's a gentle opener that's needed for what's coming later.
Yeah, Greg.
So I love it. I mean,
Okay, go for it.
if I'm right, it's just I'm going to say that for every track, I think.
Well, I said Craig, and then you're talking, but that's okay.
Did you? I
No,
thought
go
you
for
did.
it.
See,
Fine, Greg, go for it.
sorry.
Go for it. He's been on holiday, folks.
Yeah, I've been on holiday. I've had a bad day, so I'm just sorry. It is just bass, synths, and vocals on this, isn't it? There's nothing else. I've been listening to it, trying to work out, and it is.
Yeah, I mean the keys are a little bit almost orchestral at one point.
Yeah,
I think, but yeah.
and you can hear the bass coming through at times and what have you in the vocals, but the vocals are so spacious and lush. The reverb on them is massive to give you that sense of space. You know what I mean? I had to look up Monkey's Paw, and it's one of, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of 2 things. So there is a horror story written about a monkey's paw. I don't think it's that, but the other one, you get your wish fulfilled, but sometimes with undesired consequences, is the reference to a monkey's paw. You can wish upon it, you get your wish, but it can be a little bit unrequested consequences or what have you.
Yeah, you get your minus with your plus with the monkey's paw.
That's it. Yeah.
We've all seen the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love. Is it all it says is "Did you forget I exist"? Is that the only thing it says?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
I said yes, but you played too hard to get.
Yeah, it's like it's almost as if So if he's explaining, I hadn't seen that Prog Report. So if he's saying it's like somebody meeting an alien in a field, it's like we've been here before. Did you forget?
Yes.
So coming around, it's brilliant. I think it's really good. Yeah.
There is
What do you
another
think of-
angle
what
that
do you
he
think
came
of-
from.
So go on.
Which was that whole thing about did you forget about us, was that Steve Wilson says that would stopped looking up at the stars since like those early days with the moon landings and all the rest of it. Everything was let's go out and explore, let's go out and explore. And now we've become a very insular world. It's all about social media and
Yeah,
looking
one of the things
down,
I was going to say, because in the interview he said like we were looking up, now we're looking down at our screens.
yeah. So yeah, I think it could be taken both ways. Definitely, it's for such a short lyric. It's you can interpret it in so many ways. It's clever. It's really clever.
Craig, what do you think of it?
It does the thing what you're saying with the Stephen Wilson, falsetto vocals, which I'm not a great fan of, but it works in this, for the whole point of it. And the guys have covered it. It's very cinematic track. The first line in it, I incline myself to space, basically says it all for this album. You look up and there's a big wide universe up there. But I mean, there's an interesting thing as well in the Q&A not the Q&A, the presentation that they did at the BFI, where they were talking about the film and talking about space and talking about the overview effect, and he mentions William Shatner going into space.
Yeah.
And the book that William Shatner wrote about what his interpretation and his actually experiencing the overview effect is really interesting.
Didn't he say it didn't affect him? Is that?
Oh, it did.
Oh no, it
Sorry.
affected it hugely.
It is.
Yes,
beg
I mean,
your
I
pardon.
can read out the pieces that's relevant here. He says he wanted and needed to get to the window as quick as possible to see what was out there. This was when they got up there and were floating around. He looked down and I could see the hole that our spaceship had punched in the thin blue tinged layer of the oxygen around Earth. It was as if there was a wake trailing behind where they'd just been, and as soon as I'd noticed it, it disappeared. He continued his self-guided tour and turned me head to face the other direction to stare into space. I love the mystery of the universe. I love all the questions that have come to us over thousands of years of exploration and hypothesis. Stars exploding years ago, their light traveling to us years later, black holes absorbing energy, satellites showing us the entire galaxies in areas thought to be devoid of matter entirely. All of that has thrilled me for years. But when I looked in the opposite direction, into space, there was no mystery, no majestic ought to behold. All I saw was death. I saw a cold, dark, black emptiness. It was unlike any blackness you can see or feel on Earth. It was deep, enveloping, all-encompassing. I turned back towards the light of home. I could see the curvature of the Earth, the beige of the desert, the white of the clouds, and the blue of the sky. It was life, nurturing, sustaining life. Mother Earth, Gaia, and I was leaving her. Everything I thought was wrong. Everything I expected to see was wrong. I thought going into space would be the ultimate catharsis of that connection between all living things, that being up there would be the next beautiful step of understanding the harmony of the universe. In the film Contact, when Jodie Foster's character goes into space and looks out into the heavens, she lets out an astonished whisper. They should have sent a poet. I had a different experience because I discovered that beauty isn't out there. It's down here with all of us. Leaving that behind made my connection to our planet even more profound. So he didn't feel what he thought was going to be his feeling of it, of the overview effect.
Okay. Pretty heavy stuff.
That's the Shatner. We love him.
I think, just going back to the music for a little bit, I think No Monkey's Paw is a good opener. I can't decide where I am with Wilson's falsetto. Sometimes it's too high and he's singing out of his range. I don't think he is on this because it's not prolonged. It's just that section, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's a reprise later on the.
There is.
The Cosmic Sons of Toil and on the
I do like the way that the "Did You Forget I Exist" is double or triple tracked, and it's almost spoken, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not talking about the live show yet, are we?
No.
Okay.
And this is all Stevie Chuckle. I'm afraid. Sorry, listeners. I will refer to him as Stevie Chuckle Trousers. We're talking about Stephen Wilson. and Randy McStein's on this as well. So Randy's already appeared. You know, Randy's part of the live lineup, and he was part of the Porcupine Tree tour as well, the last one. From there, we go to section 2, which is the Buddha of the Modern Age. Mikey, lots of lyrics to talk about here.
Right, wait for this, guys. I really like the way the lyrics stab and bite to get the point across. I think it's amazing. The delivery is so unique. I don't think I've heard anything like this before. I think
He does stuff like this quite semi-regular.
Does he?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got a feeling to me of early Floyd, early Queen kind of vibe to it. I thought it reminded me of something like the Prophet song by Queen, but when I went and re-listened to that, it's not anywhere near it. But it's just kind of that vibe, I think. But my word, him trying to convey the futility of just everyday events compared to the things that are going out in the cosmos, you know, as we speak right now, you know, like Craig mentioned before, I watched that Q&A thing about the film at the BFI, and I mean, I've always been fascinated by space. I had a little telescope when I was a kid, and I watched loads of YouTube videos by Professor Cox, and it was nothing revelatory or new to me, but it never ceases to amaze me how literally insignificant we are. And yet the lives that he's pertaining to, you know, it's like when you're in the moment of your life, like nothing's any more important than the thing that's happening to you today.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's not even slightly important.
No.
You know, even the existence of Earth is a blip in the creation of the universe. The you know, the length of time the universe has existed up until now, it's nothing. It's like, you know, they said if the universe is like an old age pensioner right now, the Earth's a little baby. It's, you know, and I think that he's trying to get that across with the lyrics. And one of the things that he's mentioned in an interview as well is like the start of the album is, you know, you're meeting the alien and there's this progression away from Earth. So like this is like Earth stories, which will go into Universal stories towards the end of the album.
Yeah.
And he kind of said like side 1 or track 1 is about humanity's relation to space, and side 2 or track 2 is about the science of it all.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very biting track. It drives home and it's quite sinister in its delivery. You know, when he's got those notes that go do 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 do
that really starts in the next track. Meanwhile, it's the the musical refrain that's throughout the track.
It's quite dissonant, isn't it? As well, there's a lot of like major and minor keys playing off against each other throughout this side. It grabbed me. I mean, I have to say, I think side 2, track 2 for me is probably the more engaging for me, probably in the sort of music that I like. But I think side 1 makes me think more.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And this is one of the tracks. I think it's very clever, and every time I listen to it, I pick up something else because I've streamed the music. I've not sat down and really read the lyrics through properly. I'm kind of, you know, absorbing it in one go, and I have picked, you know, a few things out later on in the album. But yeah, it's stunk and it's really good.
It's unusual because it's an Andy Partridge lyric. The whole side 1, the lyrics are by Andy Partridge and not by Stephen Wilson. And I think you can tell that certainly as you come into the next track. But he's starting to, as you say, starting to paint the picture of everyday lives and things that are important to you or somebody else, and may not be important to the next person. But absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, the note I've put is essentially what Mikey said. You know, it's a modern perspective, like a take on, you know, religion, life, technology on Earth, and then in comparison to the agelessness of the cosmos and everything. So it's, yeah, Mikey was absolutely spot on with what he said.
Great.
It's really interesting because when you listen to it, it all sounds in fours. Like you were saying, with the delivery, the lyrics, they're very staccato, monosyllabic, dun, 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 all the way through.
Well, it's emphasised at the beginning because he's singing it over the drum beat.
Yeah.
Singing it on in time with the drum beat.
And then as the track progresses, things start playing in quarter notes and then in eighth notes, so it gets busier and busier. But there's also, I'm not sure how quickly it comes in, but there's a keyboard part buried in there, which is off the count, and it pushes the fourth beat every time. And I only noticed it tonight. I hadn't noticed it before, but I've got my, I had my studio headphones on, and I was listening to it, and I could hear it, and it just pushes it, and it gives it that kind of a. It's almost like an incessant getting more and getting more. Although it's straight, dun, 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 done, but it's getting bigger and bigger, and the whole thing expands for the the entire track until that final refrain on the piano where it goes da, 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 and it fades out.
It goes into the next section.
Yeah,
I mean, it comes to a really big crescendo, doesn't it?
Yeah, huge, and then it's just that tiny piano line.
Yeah,
it's so well done.
Totally agree with everything you've said, all of you there. I think the lyrics are really interesting. They are really story lyrics, which is unusual for Chuckle.
But I think it's part of the whole cinematic feel of this album. It's got its own kind of narrative.
It is
very
filmic,
different
isn't
from
it?
side two, though, I think.
Yeah.
I'm with Mikey. This is a very different kettle of fish to the actual overview track itself.
Yeah.
But
it's also, so even this track's very different to what's about to come as well. Lyrically, although the concept is the same, the delivery is completely different, and the way it reads and the way you feel it is completely different.
It's more, it's almost commentary, this track, isn't it?
Yes.
Whereas
we're
coming on to Meanwhile, which is about a shopping bag broke, sending eggs and flour crashing, and all of that, and the guy who hasn't paid his for his finance for his car, and
But again, it's staying with the theme of everyday life contrasted with the cosmos.
So clever.
Yeah.
The start of each verse is the everyday, and the end is about space or the galaxies or whatever. From the Buddha of the modern age, then we move into Meanwhile, which starts with that piano riff that Mikey was talking about, which crops up a lot in side one.
The leitmotiv.
Mikey?
It is quite a dissonant sound to it. What I was going to mention just before, when Graham mentioned about listening to it in your studio headphones, I know you'll probably disagree with me when it comes to 5.1 and Atmos mixes, which I'm not privy to, but I think this is a very, very much a headphone album. It's got to be played loud, and there's so much going on. There is so much going on in this, and this is another one of those key examples. I think it's amazing. This is one of the lyrics that I wrote down, which was, "And meanwhile the stars line themselves up in order while we bicker on about fences and borders." Brilliant. And the thing that struck it for me was, like, we have literally not long in the distant past had a planetary alignment in the sky. So, did he know that was happening? Is it just coincidence? I don't know, but brilliant. 2 minutes in, you've got these screaming, scratchy guitars that kick in. I think the track itself's got quite a Beatlesy-esque feel to it. I think maybe, I don't want to say John Lennon. I think it may be more Harrison leaning, but it's 3 minutes 40. I was getting into the track, and then it goes pew,
Inferior Lulu.
It goes off into this.
You mean Nick Beggs arrives?
Yeah, Nick
Beggs arrives with his big dirty bass and plays the same riff that you've had on the piano on the bass guitar.
I wasn't expecting it, and I thought, there we go, the prog's kicked in now. But then it kind of rectifies itself. There's this dreamy keyboard work comes in, and it settles into the last verse.
The line sorry to interrupt you, but the line just before that bass really struck me. It's along the lines of what you were saying earlier, Mike. It's still silence arrives when a nebula dives into our Milky Way.
Yeah, it's preparing you for that onslaught of
Yeah.
music that hits you. Like I say, I really wasn't expecting it, and to a point, I'm not entirely sure it works. I think the Sieg of it doesn't. It's a little bit jarring for me, but that's just that's just my. I don't want to be all anti-prog or anything, but that does take a complete U-turn for me.
Can I pick up on something?
Yeah.
After about 6 minutes in, you've got that heavy outro piano as well,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. And thanks to you, John, you made me privy to obviously the version of the album that we're reviewing, which is the
Disconnected.
is it disconnected version.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm privy now to the single edit of this, which for me as a pop fan works better. However, I think the ending on the album version is far superior than the way the single edit ends.
Yeah.
So it had that little proggy bit being took out the middle for me, but the good proggy bit at the end would have been top notch for me.
I mean,
almost the best song on the album for me.
They're called single edits, but he's released no singles from this album, so I don't know. Great, sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, so picking up on Mikey's point about that, the Sieg, something that Stephen Wilson, particularly in Porcupine Tree, was really, really good at doing was a throwaway riff. He'd play a song and he'd have a riff that would be absolutely ripping, and he'd play it once, maybe twice, and then go back to the song and carry on, and you would never hear that riff again. Whereas in this, I've just put bass break, dirty, underscored, Nick Beggs.
Yeah.
And then the guitars follow it. So one of the guitars plays it, then the second guitar comes in and is playing, and it builds and builds on that riff, which is kind of something new for him. Because he would do big riffs like that, but then go back to the song fairly quickly. Where this, he really plays on it, he really builds it, and I love the fact, Mike, you picked out the keys, Mikey, didn't you? After that sort of bass and keyboards and the bass and guitars and the keyboards come in, and for me, that bit of keys, because if you've got them in headphones, they swirl around.
Mm.
That's where it hits the Floyd bit. It's where it's like the quadraphonic versions of Dark Side of the Moon and stuff, with like Richard Wright stuff moving around inside your head and all that kind of stuff. And it is absolutely brilliant. It's interesting though. A lot of the track is quite dry, so the drums on it are quite dry and what have you. The vocals are drenched in reverb. So when it's just him singing the verse, it's quite dry. But when they're doing the harmonies for the big bits, they sound massive because the reverb tail is huge. It just this huge echo that makes it. I'm gesticulating with my hands. You can see me. I once caught a fish this big, but you know what I mean. It's like it just sounds huge, and it gives you that feeling of space. And the way that they've done this throughout the album is just wonderful.
I have to correct something that I've just said a few minutes ago. Andy Partridge wrote the lyrics for this section, not for the whole track. So
Oh, I thought it was the whole thing.
I thought it was, but he's credited in the booklet just for this track.
Should really open that, shouldn't I?
Really. But I do think they fit together well. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not jarring at all. It's,
No.
it's more of the same, really.
It's more
I love that thing, like the meteor turned out the lights,
Yeah.
and all the little. So it's all the normal life stuff, and then the last stanza of the bit is, but this is it in space.
Yeah. But this is also the thing about us not looking up.
Yeah.
It's the fact that, you know, something can happen. We're on this fragile little piece of water and land, and something up in the cosmos there, in a snap of a finger, and we'd all be finished. And
So-
then nobody would know that we'd even been here.
Interestingly,
It's really uplifting, this podcast, folks, isn't it?
interesting. Talking about size of scale and like, you know, William Shatner's emptiness behind us and all that kind of stuff. A little bit of penance. Obviously, we were meant to record this a couple of weeks ago, but somebody forgot he was going to France for a week. Went to see my stepbrother, who is an astrophysicist. And we started talking about this, and we started talking about the origins of the universe and the space. And he started explaining to me about equivalent spaces between planets and things. And he said, if you've got this here in the south of France, the closest it was like size of a pin drop or a mustard seed or something. This is the closest planet outside of our system would be in Krakow. And I'm like, sorry, what? Pardon? So I actually got preached at for ages about this album when I mentioned we were doing the thing, but it's really interesting.
So that's going down the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really big.
I want to return to Mr. Partridge's lyrics and just read the last verse from this section, which is, "And there with his first telescope, a teenager stands full of hormones and hope. As he squints at the night like a painting of light, he doesn't suppose that a black hole implodes in 1 trillion years from now."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. From there, it just gets more proggy, Mikey, doesn't it? We go into
It
a
certainly
section
does.
called the Cicerones, which is instrumental. Go on.
Yeah, I think it's very lush, isn't it? And I think you need that after. I wouldn't say the last two tracks were heavy, but they're definitely bombastic in style. And I think you just need that
They're
little
not
breather.
subtle, are they?
No, not at all, not at all. But of course, then you get into Arc, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're back into the vocal delivery style that was in Buddha.
Well, it's slightly different because Ark is
Yes,
two
yeah.
words at a time, isn't it?
This is it. It's timed differently, and I find it less biting. It's less sinister in the way it's delivered. But this track actually builds more than what it does in Buddha, and I
It's
just
more of a, it becomes more of a chant, doesn't it?
yeah, it's like a
voices-
mantra, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really intrigued by this one, to be completely honest with you, John. And this going into the next section as well, again, it's not really my ilk, and it's not really what I would call my cup of tea at all.
Yeah.
But I have found myself going back to it and going back to it. So yeah, I think it's a needed part of this album, and the callbacks, even in this 23 minutes, work, and they work really well. Because when I first listened to this broken down, when I first listened to the album, I listened to it in 2 chunks. That was it.
Yeah.
Then you gave me the broken down bits, and I thought, why wasn't it just released like this? And now I've gone back to, oh, hang on, now I know why, blah blah blah. So yeah, it works, but honestly, he knows how to build a track sonically. It just builds and builds and builds. There's so much going on in it. It's kitchen sink, but it's not too much kitchen sink, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it delivers for me. It's really good.
Craig?
Yeah, I mean, I like the acoustic start and the way that it like Mikey says, it just builds and builds and builds to a crescendo. And it also, it's a bit end of the world stuff, because you've got, people lamenting that, we knew it would happen, those who survived. We know that things are going to turn to shit eventually. And what are you going to do? Yeah, well, it's coming, but,
What's happened to you today?
it's happy, isn't it?
Yeah, clearly.
But also, like, in a space full of billions of stars, who cares? Those who survive, who cares what's going to happen? Happy. But it's a good track.
Great.
We're still on Cicerone's Arc, aren't we?
With Cicerones and Ark, yeah. We're about to come into Cosmic Sons of Toil, but
So I love this because there's a feeling to it of tumbling over.
Yeah.
Of perpetual motion. And as the track goes on, there's like this kind of the movement continues, but it expands, it grows as the track goes on. So it's like it trips over itself, and it's the first point, I think, in the album where you can really hear the analog synth side of it. You can hear all the movement, you can hear all the twisting of the dials and the ADSR and all that kind of stuff, and you can hear it all tumbling over itself and growing, and it gets absolutely massive. It does. It's phenomenal, and it's weird. So, other than Meanwhile, I've actually paid little attention to the lyrics of things because I've been taken away by the scope of the music, which, as a lyricist / singer, is quite unusual for me.
yeah.
But when I'm listening to it,
They're not the focal point, are they? They're
No, they're not
part
exactly.
of
Yeah,
the sound.
exactly. They're part of the sound.
Yeah,
And it's like, so I live in a dark sky area, and I did it one night. I went out onto the our furniture outside, and I sat out the back with all the lights off, looking up at the stars, listening to this album, just thinking, "Fuck me." it's like, and it fits. It's just massive. Yeah. And it is that perpetual motion. But we talked about it in Buddha of the Modern Age with the fours, and it gets busier and busier, and it grows and grows. And this one does that same, but it's not the staccato piece. It tumbles as it gets bigger.
As we said, it's as you move into arc, the words are sung
Doubled.
in pairs.
Yeah.
In pairs each time.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I've always said about prog, if you don't like this section, don't worry, because in 90 seconds something else is coming up.
Yeah.
You don't need 90 seconds on this side one. Just wait 20 seconds and something else is coming up. I think the recycled musical motif, I don't recall him doing this before. Some of my other favourite artists do it a lot. Spock's Beard do it a lot.
Yeah.
Rush have done it in their time. I don't remember Stephen Wilson doing it.
No, and he's actually made quite a big deal of having done it. He does talk about that being it's repeated in different forms all the way through.
Yeah, because with Porky's, he was more, for me, he's more about creating a feel and a groove and a riff, and you just hammer it home. Mainly, you either play it until it gets really loud, or you play it and break down, and then you play it and build it up again till it gets really loud. I know that's simplifying his entire career. I don't mean to, but this is different for me, and I think it's really compelling. This, I mean, this is like Mikey. This is my least favorite of the two tracks. And again, when we talk about the live set, there's even more to talk about there, isn't there? But so this leads into Arc leads into Cosmic Sons of Toil, which is another instrumental section, but it starts with that driving piano riff into frantically soloing guitar, which is just brilliant.
I've put on my notes. It's a very Wilson track.
Well, it's Randy McStein playing the solos, which is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's very prog with lots of time changes and stuff like that. Yeah.
But just for Mikey, then it returns back to the piano riff, but it's like an old time Joanna sample of a piano.
Yeah. I mean, this for me, it acts in pretty much the same way that the Cicero's does, where that was sort of like a laid back chill moment. This is a musical interlude between the two lyrical points and taking you in towards the end of the track. The guitar work on this is just absolutely awesome. I wasn't sure who was playing it, so thanks for saying that, John. But I was just like, wow. It's mind blowing work. And then, like you say, halfway through, it flips to piano work, which is just as awesome. Again, it's got that early Queen kind of sound to it for me. This is prog I can get into. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
It gets through a lot in 3 minutes.
It does.
It does do a lot in 3 minutes. It really does.
I just put this fucking rips. That's what I've written down, because that Randy McStein's guitar stuff on that is mind blowing.
Yeah,
it really is. I don't know if any of you. I mean, the other two probably haven't. You probably have the McStein Miniman stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's much on that I would compare to that solo. That it is phenomenal. Having seen him on the Porky's tour, I was like, yeah, okay, he's a good guitarist. But this, I was like, holy.
But it's, I mean, see, we will talk about the live show shortly, but it's just so effortless. He was doing it. He's, it looks like he's not even trying. He just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else to add to that, Craig?
Nope.
Okay.
It's
No Ghost on the Moor.
Now this is really interesting.
Well,
You know, yeah, you
Uh,
kind
uh,
of
can I? Because I'm going to read these words out, and then I'm going to look at you lot because I think I know what you're going to say. There's a section after No Ghost on the Moor which is called "Heat Death of the Universe." Nobody's saying War of the Worlds.
it's a heat death of the universe is more supernova. So
Apologies, I thought you'd all say War of the Worlds there, but there you go.
ooh-la.
Ooh la.
Ooh la, indeed.
See, if you're going proper sci-fi stuff like that with the that's the end of the Romulan Empire with the supernova. That's what.
Sorry, your lips are moving there, but there was
See,
just noise.
there you go.
You just
There you go.
noise. Mikey, No Ghost on the Moor.
Well, we're back to the beginning, aren't
He's
we?
back, isn't he? He's back with his
Yeah,
falsetto.
We've come 360, so yes, another call back, but it works, doesn't it? It works really well. So you've got that for the first 2 minutes of the track, and then again you've just got this wonderful guitar work going on, and towards the end of the guitar work, I don't know what effects is used on the guitar, but it almost crackles and distorts. And you've got these drone sounds going on in the background, which is obviously relating to the death of the universe. It's awesome, awesome sound effects and keyboards and guitars. All at one point, I couldn't work out what was keyboard and what was guitar sound. It was just absolute genius work. A perfect finish to that song.
Did you
Song,
not get
track,
the
side.
as it builds a crescendo? Did you not? It sounds like bees to me.
Mm.
It sounds like a swarm of bees.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that was probably the droning sound I was probably thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's
clever stuff.
Craig.
I love the guitar solo in this. I think the guitar work on it. This is my favorite solo piece of guitar work on the album.
This is the Mink again.
Yeah, no, I think it's really, really, really good. It's a very melancholy song as well, I feel.
Yeah,
But no, again, you know, it's a 6-minute song, and it flies past.
The whole
Just
album
like-
does.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, this whole piece that we're talking about, it's only 23 minutes or something
yeah,
long. So
yeah.
it's genuinely like the length of one folk song, but it's got so much to it. But no, it's one of my favorite tracks on the album.
Great.
So I love the fact, although it's a repeat of the falsetto and the lyrics and what have you, that callback to the start, it actually sounds bigger because the way he's done the reverb and there's a slight overdrive to the voice and what have you, and it's just, it gives it more. So it's like, we're here again, but there's something else coming. And then Randy McStein starts playing that. And to me, it's almost like that kind of On the Turning Away
Yeah, a little bit.
kind of guitar sound, the really low. It doesn't sound like a guitar. It's and it comes in really, really. It's overdriven, but it doesn't sound like a guitar. And then it just is. It's just gorgeous. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and look at more of what he's done in the past because I really haven't. Although I knew he was on the Porky stuff, and I saw him live and what have you. I've done McStein minimum 1 and 2. I need to try and see what he's done because his work is impeccable.
Yeah. This track of all the section, or this section of all the bits of side one, for me, orally, I feel like I'm floating in space.
Yes.
You know, it really does give you that sort of ending and then it comes to this almost like the swarm sound comes to this abrupt end.
Yeah.
And the track's over. It's
Yeah.
It covers so much ground in that 23 minutes.
It does. I mean, I've put me notes like as summing up as like it's space rock, but definitely not Hawkwind.
No.
And I think I like the humanity, the perspective on it, the fragility of everything, the human heart and the human condition, all summed up in relevance to like where we are in the universe.
Yeah. I think.
Has AI done your notes tonight?
You know what?
Has AI done your notes tonight?
No, it's my shitty handwriting.
Okay.
The way that builds though, and you've got the drones and you've got all the noise and you've got the expanse and everything, and then it's almost like falling off the abyss.
Yeah.
Do you know? That's how I thought about it. It's like you start to see what's happening. There's all this stuff, and then
Yeah.
Go on.
I get that. I could certainly see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey, anything else to say on this 23-minute progtastic track? Not enough glitter.
No, I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want to spoil what's coming next.
Okay.
It's been said and done.
We're turning over. We're flipping the record onto side 2 for the title track, which is the overview. And again, this is broken down into sections. And the first section is called Perspective. Mikey.
I learned 2 new words: detonator and yotometer. I had never heard them before in my life. So there we go. Thanks very much for that. It's very double electronica, and as soon as it started, I was like, right, I'm on board. I'm getting into this. It's a mixture of Jean-Michel Jarre and work by the Orb. I just think it's absolutely amazing, and those spoken sections with that female voice.
His wife
Basically
wrote
describing the
Stevie Chuckles' wife wrote Wilson. Yeah.
Right. Just explaining the immeasurable size of the universe. I think it's just so clever. It's got lush sound effects going on, swirling springs. It ends beautifully, and I'm so pleased it's got a callback later on in the track as well, because it's about that repetition and just getting lost inside your head. It is the start of perfection for me. There's so many albums like going back in days to like you think of things like Mike Oldfield's Omadon, for example. I always thought side 2 of Omadon was far better than side 1. And this plays out perfectly. I mean, I'd rather be on horseback at the end, unfortunately.
No. Thankfully.
But honestly, it's thankfully, it's an amazing start to an amazing track. It's just wonderful.
Okay. Craig.
I've got to say one word.
You're going to say the word
Just for the Dobbs.
aren't you? For Dobby.
Ganymede. There you go, Dobby. We've said it. He's obsessed with Ganymede.
Dave Dobby was sharing our chalet at Marillion Weekend, and he took the piss out of me all weekend about Ganymede because it's mentioned it's one of the things.
In between snoring.
Well, yes. Have you anything else to say apart from Ganymede?
I'm not even going to go with Wolf 359 for the Trekkies, so we'll leave it there.
No, do it.
Oh, there's so many bits of that way thing, where they mention different like places, different star systems and stuff like that. There you go. Yeah, that's from the original series. Yeah, that Next Generation. Yeah, oh, Deep Space Nine. Oh, there you go. But I think it's a very Floyd-esque opening, and it's good because it's music like what Mikey said, with the influences and stuff on it. Yeah, you've got like a Floyd-esque kind of music with a bit of drum and bass in it, and I think it works really, really well. And you're sitting there thinking, by God, you're trying to look up stuff, thinking, how far is the distance is that? Jesus H. Christ. But it gets you all space sciencey.
Great.
That's great.
It's phenomenal. And it's really weird because the first time I heard it, I went, oh, for the first time, I can hear Plague of Ghosts, Chocolate Frogs and stuff. It's weird. The drum line, it's the really fast rhythm bit and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. Because we've listened to so much of that recently and what have you, I'm like, oh my God, listen. There's a line through what Stevie Chuckles does all the way through. You can hear where he comes back to things that he does. But it is... I almost find it quite emotional. The keyboard parts, the stuff of it, it's really well done. Because when it's soft, it's heartbreakingly soft. But then it's busy as fuck at times as well. And it's like the whole thing is so intense. It takes you on this journey that... Did you go to one of the early film showings? Did you go to one of the?
I went to the night after the BFI. I went to Manchester. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Did that have the film from the?
Yeah.
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 So, the only thing I can liken it to is I went to one of our local planetariums and watch Dark Side of the Moon with the travel through the universe and all this kind of stuff that they've done. And that's how this made me feel. Even before I'd seen the show live, that's how this made me feel. This kind of movement and travel and expanse, and it's phenomenal.
I mean, the film's really good. It was difficult because it was the first time we'd heard the album as well. So you're listening to the new music and you've got the new visuals. Now I know the album, I'd like to revisit the film and see what I make of it then.
Yeah, if only put it on the Blu-ray, but no.
Well, there's an opportunity to sell it again, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
so that might happen.
I think it would be interesting to see the film on at a planetarium, but it'd be.
So that would be really good sitting, because I don't know if any of you have done that, but it's the surround sound systems with all the good, the brand new mixes and what have you, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
it really is.
Great idea. I mean, everything you've said, I totally agree with. I mean, he's a big fan of electronica. I mean, he's a really eclectic music fan anyway, Stephen.
Oh yeah.
But he's a real big fan of electronica, and it's nice. We had the Future Bites, which was a more electronic album than what came before. Still with song elements, but I like the way the drum beat breaks down in the middle of this track, and then there's fantastic keyboard washes, and then the drum beat is back, but it's quicker and it's louder, and then Rotom's back again, and the sequence is getting faster and faster and faster, and then it all falls away. And my notes say it all falls away to a beautiful ... a beautiful infinity.
Yeah,
which is just. I'm going to get in first on this because this is my favourite part of the entire record.
Same here.
It's snow is falling, but it can't be seen from here, with acoustic behind it, and then the whole thing builds. It's the most Floyd sounding part of this record, and one of the versions I've got is the commentary version where he talks about the origins of the tracks. A Beautiful Infinity is where this album started. It's what he had left from the Harmony Codex, so he built the rest of the album around this. And I think you can tell. I think this is my sweet spot for Steven Wilson when he sounds like this.
Yeah, I'm the same. Exactly the same.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Clouds have no mystery and the sea feels no sorrow. The lyrics and everything, absolutely amazing. I'm going to let Mikey talk about it now.
This is also my favorite section of the album. At first, I thought, again, it's got quite a Beatlesy sound to it. Can you remember Free as a Bird?
Yes. Yeah.
That's where my head immediately went. Beautiful guitar work again. It goes into the second half of it. I didn't know where Beautiful Infinity started and Borrowed Atoms ended, because there's
Beautiful Infinity
between the two.
Beautiful Infinity 1, Borrowed Atoms, and then Beautiful Infinity 2. So
that's probably where I'm getting myself a bit lost. So what I wrote down, was that in the second half there's a piano breakdown, which again just takes the track off somewhere else, and then there's this crash as these lyrics come over, which is there is no reason for anything, just Beautiful Infinity.
Yeah.
That for me, I was just like, whoa, amazing. Then you get to this other lyrical part, which is the light that radiates from here could shame the sun. And then there's this keyboard sound that comes in. It must have been a preset which just said War of the Worlds. It could also be Pink Floyd's Welcome to the Machine. It's got that sound to it. It's amazing. And then abruptly the sound ceased. The track just stops and it's like silence, and it's like, I love this. I can get into this. And I've played this over and over so many times. It's absolute top-notch stuff. 10 out of 10, Stephen. Brilliant. And if any of his back catalogue's like this, you must tell me.
There are some bits.
Yeah. Sky moves sideways and that sort of thing you need to go for, yeah.
See, I'd
say Hand Cannot Erase as well.
Yeah, a little bit. Voice 34 is good. Oh.
Yeah, Voyage 34. Yeah, very much so.
Craig.
Thematically, I think this song is a good mashup between Major Tom and the Man from Planet Marzipan thematically, with what.
Oh, what's the man from Planet Marzipan, Craig? Everybody knows Major Tom.
Yeah, I think most people on this podcast will actually know what the man.
Not
from
only catering to the Marillion audience, you know.
Well, you just said it, yeah. There's a song from Happiness is the Road, Volume 2. And with what you have said about what they're saying with the lyrics, the beauty of it, but what you haven't mentioned in it as well is the talk about space travel. And if you look at the film Interstellar, it explains a bit on what's happening here. Lyrically, it talks about leaving your partner and back on Earth, and you've gone traveling into space, and you know that you're still alive traveling into space, and your partner's dead because of the way that space time works. You know, if you're leaving Earth and traveling at a certain speed, you know, time's different. So this
Brian
person
May's 39 all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very much so. So it's the person that they've left behind is going to be long since dead, and that's heartbreaking.
Do you know he's full of the joys of spring today, isn't he? Full of them.
Happy talking, happy talk. Talk about the plug we want to do.
Okay, from there.
I'd just like to say that as a non-prog fan, I think Mikey's doing really well at loving this album.
Well, and Craig, to be fair.
Yeah.
Gray?
So for me, it's my second favourite track on the album.
Okay, after.
Okay. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is. And we've mentioned the Beatles and we've mentioned Floyd. And for me, it sits somewhere between sort of 69, 70 Beatles, 71 to 73 Floyd, with a little bit of ELO thrown in. It's who did both anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of overture stuff and what have you. And that takes me back to a place where music was a wondrous thing for me. When I first heard stuff like sort of the late era Beatles stuff, the early Pink Floyd stuff, and then all the ELO stuff that my dad had on albums and what have you, to me, it opened up a new universe. It opened up this thing that was just massive. And this song does that. It kind of takes you on a journey. And although it's nothing means anything, it's just a beautiful infinity, it sounds a bit I was going to say finite, not finite. I mean, it's sort of
trite.
Yeah. However, it's a really positive song, sound-wise. The way when it builds up and it's like the music itself is positive. It sounds really good.
I think on the commentary version, he talks about that section, and that section is all about him being an atheist. Right. He doesn't believe there's a higher power. That all these things just happen because of the chaotic nature of things. That's how he explains it. I mean, we talked a lot about Floyd. The most obvious, to me, the most obvious Floyd-related thing in his back catalogue is Time Flies from The Incident. And that really just sounds like something off Animals.
Yeah.
Whereas this kind of evokes Floyd, but doesn't particularly rip them off.
Yeah, exactly. It's the way he uses the sounds and the way he uses the soundscapes and the movement. It sounds like something Floyd would do. It doesn't sound like Floyd. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And from there, we go to Infinity Measured in Moments.
Well,
Mikey?
just before we do,
Okay.
one other thing, there was an album that I reached for shortly after you introduced me to this, and that last track that we've just discussed, the Beautiful Infinity, harkened back to me with that Moody Blues album, Days of Future Past.
Oh yeah.
There's a section in it called Peak Hour, which is a mental sort of like Beatles-esque psychedelic groove thing going on, and I played it again today, and it's chalk and cheese. It really is. Like, you can't compare this to that. but just the way that the album's structured and put across reminded me of that. And that's a classic piece of work as well. So yeah, sorry to shoehorn that in, but
No, it's fine.
it made me go and dig the album out, and I hadn't heard it in years. And I know Craig really loves Nights in White Satin, don't you, Craig?
I absolutely fucking love that song. That's one of the first songs
Right,
that
if you
got me into
haven't
music.
Right,
I've
if
heard the
you
album.
haven't
I've
heard
heard the
the album version, go and hear the album version because it's got some orchestral sections either side of it.
It's an album I
wonderful.
do. It's an album I do dig out occasionally. I don't love the album but there's some really interesting pieces on it. Yeah.
It's off its baps and places, yeah.
Oh, definitely. Come on,
We're going off track. We're going
I'm
off
going to
track.
bring you back to Stephen Wilson because we've got the return of Rotem, who's back again, talking to us about the planets. So this starts with a keyboard wash, and Rotem again is back, but there's live drums on the track this time underneath her, and the pace picks up with the drums getting busier from the air, from the dust, from the sea, and it builds to a massive keyboard solo backed by the whole band. This is Adam Holtzman just off his nuts. And then it breaks down again to a clapping section.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a prog track with hand claps and widdly keyboards.
Yeah, it is. And then all of that happens, and then it falls away again, and Rotem's back again.
Yeah.
Got a question for you.
Yes.
So, Buddha. I know we're going back a bit. So Buddha's in ones.
Yeah.
Is it Cosmic Sons of Toil that's in twos? Which one is it that's in twos?
Yeah.
Arc.
Arc. Have you noticed? This is in threes. Da 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 da. I've only when you said it there, when you were reading the words, I'm like, holy shit! It's in threes. So he's done ones, he's done twos, and he's done threes. Builds up. It's little things that he does. We take some. I mean, some of the stuff you listen to some of his albums, and you can be listening to it for years, and then you put it on a different set of speakers or a different set of headphones or something, and you go, oh, I've not heard that before, or I haven't realised that before, all that moves there. Yeah. He's just so good at the production side of it as well as the performance and writing.
And the mixing as well, you know, the way, even in a stereo mix, he hides things and yeah, really clever guy. Great.
I really like the lyrics and stuff on this part as well. I mean, you've got the imagery of a capsule falling millions of years in an expansive cosmos. You know, it's is it talking about Earth's end? Is it talking about big stuff?
You're so depressing tonight.
It's just big. It's just big stuff.
Big. Don't you think he sounds joyous when you say that bit? Like da 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 da. He sounds as if he's singing it with a smile on his face. If you listen to the way he's singing it, it sounds happy.
Well, he does, but the lyrics are.
I know the lyrics don't, but it's like a
reserved.
Weird.
All we were, all destroyed, drifting on through the void, as all permanence of matter disappears. That's the last line of the entire album. So Craig's right, absolutely right.
And this is why I'm saying for me, so I haven't listened to a lot of the lyric because I've been focusing on the emotion of the music and the way it makes me feel and how it sounds, and it all sounds positive. The lyrics don't read
I think
positive.
It's a very uplifting album, but you know, I've not looked.
But it's exactly but it's exactly what they've been saying about the overview itself, because people experience the overview differently. Some some astronauts and cosmonauts, people who've been on the space station, they see the joy in it. They see the expanse, the possibility of the future, and to going out into the stars. Other people see darkness, death, cold, and it's just it's a matter of perspective, and it's how you feel. Everybody feels different, and it's all just how that person feels. And I think he said in interviews and stuff like that, this is an album about humanity. And it's, yes, you're looking up at the stars, but it's, it's about how you feel inside about everything and
Yeah.
the universe. Oh, that's deep.
It is. It is. You're not doing politics this week, are you? You're doing,
Oh, a
life.
little bit of
The
politics.
meaning of life.
I mean, I know he only drums on half the album, but it's this half. Can I just give a
Great.
shout out for Craig Blundell, by the way, because his drumming on this is utterly phenomenal.
Yeah.
Utterly phenomenal.
We'll talk about him lots in a minute when we do that.
We will do.
Yeah.
And you think about it. Well, I can't remember what they call it. Mike, you'll probably know it, but it's where you've got like one arm doing one thing, one arm doing the other thing, one foot doing one thing. You're like all four bits are doing different times. I can't remember what it's called, but just
Clever.
Yeah, showing off.
An octopus.
Especially when the drums kick in on this Infinity Moments, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I love the way it revisits perspective anyway, and I'm actually glad that you brought up the thing about the drums, because what I didn't realize was that there was actually real drums in this compared to perspective, because I did actually write down that it feels more organic than perspective does.
Yeah.
So that brought to light actually makes sense now. But the guitars in the middle just sound like they're screaming away. And it's probably been mentioned before, and it's probably just in the back of my head because I've heard it in an interview or something about the album. But I picture Interstellar, the film, when I listen to this track. That section where he's falling through the black hole, and you've got all this stuff happening around him, and it's insanity, but organized sanity, and it's just
all of side two is Interstellar. All the side two.
Yeah, very much so. And I love that clap section. I think that's just quirky genius. Yeah. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And like John says, the way it just bottoms out and you're just left with her voice at the end of the track. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
And the way the album ends.
10 out of 10.
The way the album ends with Permanence, which is just keyboard with I think it's alto sax over the top.
I think it is.
It's soprano sax. Yeah. Theo Travis playing soprano sax.
Theo Travis, yeah.
But it's 3 minutes of this really dreamlike music. There's a 13-minute version on the bloody bonus disc in the box set of that.
See, the thing is, though, I think it could have done without the sax. I don't think it did. Don't think the sax actually helps this. It doesn't quite. It's very, very Floyd. I think this ending to it with the sax and that on it. But I think I would have preferred it without the sax.
It was a strange way to end live because it ended the first half.
Yeah.
And because of the way it is, as soon as the previous section had finished, Nick Beggs and Craig Blundell walked off stage. So you're just left with the other three guys there,
Craig probably needed to lie down in a dark room.
Craig had been to the toilet at that point. Oh, no, that was...
No, that was in the end.
I was meaning Mr. Blundell.
Oh, right, yes, yeah. I think it's a strange way to end the album. I'll agree with you, but after what comes before it, I can forgive him, because what comes before it is just amazing. Anybody else on Permanence?
I think it's gorgeous.
Quite a reflection, isn't it, after what you've dealt with? And if you follow his projection, which is you're starting off in a field in the mist, meeting an alien, and you end in the album passing beyond the outside bounds of the universe into essentially nothingness, or as far as anything's existed. This is the end. This is the end of the known universe. And I think you feel the suspension of space around you in this track. And I have to slightly disagree with Craig. Now, I'm not a big fan of sax, and I honestly didn't think it was live saxophone in this track. It was almost...
Doesn't sound like it, does it? No, it sounds like keys. Yeah.
So that's a bit of a revelation to me. But I think it's a needed track. It's a come down track. You need it after all that work. And again, it's just sublime. It's absolutely wonderful. It really is.
Theo Travis is a little bit special on his woodwind instruments.
He is, and he's a Stephen Wilson alumni. So
Yeah, he's
does
a
come back regularly.
frequent attender, isn't he? So,
Yeah. Anything else, Gray?
No, I think it's all been said.
You look spent, mate. You look like you're ready for.
Well, yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here because I listened to it a couple of times today on the train on the way home as well, and I'm just sitting there going, yeah.
You're just going to now wait until it gets dark and go outside and listen to it again in the space.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably watch the stars. So for somebody who spent the best part of the last decade saying, I don't do prog, he's not done bad, has he?
A good few years ago, he had a bit of a change on his view of prog and the label of prog, and now he wears the badge quite
openly.
Yeah.
Compare it to his last two albums, though. It's a return to.
There's nothing wrong with his last two albums. Well,
no. I'm not saying I'm not saying anything wrong with him. It's a return to a previous style.
Yeah.
Which he says that himself. He says, I've gone back to a lot of stuff that I used to do previously. I love the last two albums. Well, I prefer the remix version of Harmony Codex, but I like those both albums. Yeah. But we'll get to that in a minute.
We will. What do you think about the artwork to the album?
It's a bit pants, isn't it?
I haven't got it with me. I prefer the original artwork, with
the two,
the red
and the blue,
and the green dot.
Oh, the green dot, yeah.
I think what he came up with doesn't really work for me, if I'm honest.
I like the image on the disconnected version. I think that's really beautiful.
But that to hand, it's more of a sort of stencil, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, it's like a photocopied stencil kind of effect.
Yeah.
It's.
So who did you work with on the artwork? Is it Carl Glover again or not?
I don't know, mate. I shall have a read.
Well, while you're having a read, I'll just mention a song by Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, because after I've been listening to this album over and over and over again, I made myself a little space playlist. And so, I just trawled through my iTunes and dug out any references to moons and stars and universes and blah, 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 blah. And OMD, on their 2013 album, which was called English Electric, for all those train fans out there, they actually had a song called Our System, and it actually samples the sound of the Voyager space probe passing Jupiter, running all the way through the track. And it's an amazing piece of work, and tacked on when I've cut out bits of this album and mixed it with other space tracks like Life on Mars, blah blah blah, 39. It's just it amazes me how many artists have actually looked up and aren't just constantly looking down. But
no, I'm surprised that on your playlist did you have the disco version of Moonraker by Shirley Bassey?
I don't, but I will now.
There you go. Bit of Bond.
The artwork is by Hajo Muller, Hajo Muller. The layout's by Carl Glover, but the actual artwork is by Hajo Muller.
Is it meant to represent a singularity?
It's meant to be you're looking down on Earth.
Yeah. Okay. Mikey, if you like the idea of space music and you're into electronica, there's a band called, well, not a band, there's a guy called Stellar Drone, which is kind of electronica ambient type stuff. And I think the last album I got was one called Light Years. Awesome stuff.
Send me a link.
I will do.
Yeah. This album came out in quite a few formats in a bid to get a number 1 in the UK.
Yep.
Ended up getting a number 3. But Gray, what have you got vinyl wise?
So I've got 2.
Right.
I've got the black one, and I've got the
The mint green.
mint green. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was a red one from his own shop.
Yeah.
There's, as with all his albums, there's a deluxe book version. You got that, Gray?
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a bonus disc, which is called the Alta View, which has got an orchestral version of Objects Outlive Us, which is really interesting to hear it orchestrally, isn't it?
So I'm so right. Hands up.
You've not heard it.
I got that set. I put it away. I got the black vinyl out and played it. I've got the disconnected. I ripped the disconnected before it was available on streaming, so I had all the different tracks, and that is all I've listened to. And the Atmos version. I picked up the box set tonight, and I'm like, bollocks! I need to get CD2 and the Blu-ray out.
That's only track 1 of CD2.
I know.
Track 2 is an early version of Beautiful Infinity. Track 3 is some unused bits from Objects. Track 4 is an alternate version of No Ghost on the Moor. And track 5 is the version of Permanence that I talked about. It's 13 minutes long. And then the Blu-ray in this box has the Atmos mix, the 5.1 mix, the 5.1 instrumental, and then the bits that it has that the ordinary Blu-ray doesn't is it has a 5.1 of the orchestral Objects.
And Dolby Atmos. Yeah.
And Atmos, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got high res mixes of the Auto View as well, hasn't it? Basically everything.
Yeah, high res
high-res
stereo.
stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely pack again. All his deluxe versions are really, really worth it. If you're a fan, you know that the minute they're announced, you need to move and get it ordered.
So I made the mistake of not ordering the future bites and regretted it the second somebody paid one of the extra tracks to me, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So that's the only one I didn't do it.
That's the only one where he didn't release everything in the box. The digital version of Future Bites is longer than any other version.
Yep.
So you've got everything you need there, really.
Yeah.
I noticed there's a grey vinyl version as well.
There is in Germany, yeah, Germany only. There is as we've talked about, the disconnected CD. So there was for a week, there was a CD version available, which was the edits.
Which was a £5.
It was a £5.
And in 24 hours, it was selling for 50 quid.
There was Amazon only signed versions of the CD.
Yep.
There was Stephen Wilson's website only signed versions of the CD from the year before, where we bought them to get ticket access. There is the commentary version.
I forgot I had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to get the tickets.
There's a commentary version which has the whole album and then a commentary. And if you bought that, you get 2 metal badges as well. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And Craig, you've got none of those, haven't you?
No.
Okay.
Don't tend to buy physical now unless there's posh deluxe. I will get, if this comes out, the live Blu-ray, if it comes out with the screen media with the album and stuff like that, I will get that.
Okay. Well, nicely segued into the live shows. I think 3 of us caught the live tour, didn't we?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to bring up set lists as I'm talking to you now.
I've just done that, I think. Yeah.
How many times did you see it, John? Did you see it 3
I saw
times?
it 3 times, yeah. I saw it in Birmingham, I saw it in Newcastle, and then I saw it in Manchester. He was slightly tweaking the set. I think, Gray, you caught the Glasgow show, didn't you?
Yes, I did, yeah.
And Craig, we saw it together in Newcastle, didn't we?
We did indeed.
I'll just go through the set list, the normal set list. When I say normal, because I think Newcastle and Glasgow are probably the most normal. Set 1 was the whole new album. So it was Objects Outlive Us and the Overview. and then went off for a 15-minute break. And then set 2 was Harmony Codex, King Ghost, Luminol, What Life Brings, Dislocated Day, Pariah, Impossible Tightrope, Economies of Scale, Harmony Careen, Vermilion Core, and then the encore, by the time he got to Newcastle, this was Ancestral and The Raven That Refused to Sing, because he wasn't playing The Raven until, I think, Bristol.
Also, it was Abandoner instead of, what was the 10th track in Newcastle?
Economies of
Economies of
Scale.
Scale.
Instead of Economies of Scale, it was Abandoner
Yeah.
that he played in Glasgow, yeah.
Okay. What did you make? I'm going to go to Craig first. What did you make of the whole stage setup and the presentation?
It was. Me and John, we've got a running joke about Mr. Chuckle Trousers and his barefoot and his rug. We've been having this joke for like the last 20 odd years.
Yeah.
Um,
We're going to throw a piece of Lego on the stage, aren't we?
yeah. Just on the same stand.
Or a 13 amp plug or something that you can stand on, yeah.
But I think the screens at the back, drums off to like stage left and stuff like that. It worked perfectly for what they needed to do, and considering that with Steve Wilson live, it's a very audio visual show. It's not a standard kind of rock or prog gig. The visuals are really, really important to it. I mean, yes, there were songs on this set where he didn't have visuals for, but predominantly there was. And I think the visuals for the overview itself really, really helped get the feel of the album.
Yeah.
And it was really, really impressive.
Gray, what was your take on it?
I liked the fact that he had his analog synth center stage, and you could watch him twiddling his knobs and playing around and
You were, Mrs.
stuff. I cannot believe the quality of the screen.
Yeah, the definition on the screen was amazing, wasn't it?
For the size of it, to look at it, you'd think, right, I'm going to see some kind of
Pixelation.
distortion, pixelation, some kind of. It was just phenomenal. It really was.
Yeah.
Having Adam Holtzman and Randy McStein off to stage right, and then and Randy McStein would come in when they were doing the cutting heads things and they were playing together, and he'd walk into the center stage with. It was really well done, because particularly for that first set, they let the film and the music take center stage.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the band.
No.
I don't know how they could have done that first set and then come on again and played for another hour, because the mental focus, because to play with that video.
Well, the very first, his original idea was to end the gig with that first set, and he did the first time. It ended that way, and he quickly realised that wasn't right.
Yeah, because that's meant, the amount of effort and concentration and what have you to do that in time with the music, getting it all click perfect is, I mean. His band, he does a lot of video stuff. He always has a lot of things to video and what have you. And you speak to people that have been involved with his setups and what have you. And each musician's got their own individual click track with their own individual counts whenever they're coming in and all this kind of stuff. And it's an art, but that just took it to a whole other level. It was unbelievable watching it. And I'm not even going to get into the surround sound yet.
I mean, the band seemed like they were having fun, because there was a lot of like banter and they
that was the second half.
in them.
Yeah, you've talked about the setup. I'm not entirely convinced with Craig being off to the left as you look and Adam being off to the right. It does, as you say, put Stephen centre stage, and it gives him all that space in front. So it allowed him to be at the front of the stage, and allowed the Mink to come out. It allowed Nick Beggs to come out at times.
But it meant you could look at the visuals without being too distracted. Yeah.
You trade off having the two, Adam and
Yeah.
Craig, in those, I've certainly heard from people who had seats where they couldn't see one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
It
Okay.
very
I would
much
imagine if
depending
you're
on-
if
very
you're
much
if you're at
depending on the
Newcastle
venue.
City Hall, if you're somebody like Newcastle City Hall sitting upstairs on one of the sides, if you're near the front and one of the sides, you weren't going to see have the best view of the rest of the band because of where they were placed.
But he did give Stephen a much freer role. He was more animated than I can recall seeing him.
So I was going to
Before.
set two. I cannot remember ever having seen him perform and look as if he was enjoying himself and interacting. So it was the banter he was having with the other players and what have
Yeah,
you.
well, I think he gets. I think with Nick Beggs and with Craig, he gets that anyway, which is
Yeah.
why they're there again time after time now. That first came together for me on the Hand Cannot Erase tour, and from there, you know.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, at Birmingham, you saw this at your gigs, but at Birmingham, I was there with a friend Gaz, and we were sat in the first balcony, just above Craig, really, a little bit further down. We could see Craig clearly from where we were, and Stephen was just trying to make him laugh throughout the set. He's in his face, trying to make him laugh, messing with Nick Beggs, and we could clearly see at one point, Craig just turned around and said, "Will you fuck off?"
Yeah, because I think there was a bit where he was pointing. We had a bit in Glasgow where he was telling Craig he was hitting the wrong cymbal and going, no, hit this one next, hit this one next, hit this one next, and you can see him. He's getting more and more frustrated, in a good way. Yeah, it wasn't, but yeah, but
The other thing to say about the live show is it played 4 nights at the Palladium, and the support each night was a UK comedian, different UK comedian. Frank Skinner, Clinton Baptiste, Al Murray, and
I don't know who the fourth was.
can't remember his name.
Was it Jack D? Was it
Stuart Lee.
Stuart Lee?
So I think that may have been Stephen trying to sort of say, "I'm not this po-faced progger that you think I am."
I mean, I did like the way that he apologized to members of the audience who'd been dragged there by their husbands or boyfriends or other halves, and said, "Oh my God, what am I just sitting through?"
Yeah, is there anybody who's here by accident?
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, a bit of Stockholm syndrome going on there.
I have to say, I caught Objects Outlive Us on YouTube today, and I was suitably impressed. It was tight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good, and that, as the guys have said, that screen was just amazing. I'm pretty sure that the film will get released.
I hope so.
It would be nice, as Craig says, if they put it on the live. If he does a live DVD, he doesn't always do one. So if he does a live DVD, puts it on as an extra or a bonus, that would be nice.
But I think, my favourite songs of set 2 is, I'm going to be boring old fart, is I like his songs. The stuff where What Life Brings, Pariah, Impossible Tightrope, and the Raven That Refused to Sing.
Possible Tightrope is not a song.
I know, but I actually like
prog.
it. I know it's prog, but it's one of the ones that I actually like.
Okay.
That's quite interesting, because I've heard a lot of people say that they wished he'd left off things like Pariah and what have you, and played some of the deeper cuts. Personally, I love Pariah, and I think it's great, and I love the fact he's still using the Nanette video bit to do that.
Yes, yeah, he's still
Love
using the
the
video
fact.
for that, yeah.
But
I think something like Pariah, Mike, you really need to check out. I mean, something like The Raven That Refused to Sing, if you watch that, you'll not have a dry eye. It's especially watch the video on YouTube. It'll get you.
Yeah, and Drive Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guitar solo. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But so talking of guitars, see live with the Mink and when they were doing the harmony guitar parts and they were playing together, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really, really something special. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear the different. So, jumping slightly, the analog synth bits. I'd love to hear the comparison between a couple of nights of the show, and to hear if he had it set to the point where he knew exactly what he was doing with his analog synth, so it was the same all the time, or if he was playing within certain boundaries to say there's a freeness to this. I don't know.
The analog synths failed in Birmingham.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
So we didn't get Harmony Codex and we didn't get Kingos. I mean, the European leg, as we're recording, the European leg finishes in 2 nights' time. I think they're out in America in October, is it? October through to November, December?
And then he's off to Australia as well.
Yeah. It's. I mean, if it comes back around to Europe, I'd gladly see it again. I think he's an incredible artist.
I'd love to go and see it again. I think if I was gonna say one thing, I'd like to see a little bit more from Future Bites and Harmony Codex.
I think a lot of fan talk has been like that, because we didn't get the tours. So I'd have loved to see him do Staircase off Harmony Codex. That would have been great, or Actual Brutal Facts or something like that. But it doesn't. I saw the set list on paper and I wasn't that impressed, but at the gig, it was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, phenomenal. Yeah. And interestingly, I was listening to Guy Pratt and Gary Kemp.
Yes.
Today, and it was the Average White Band episode.
Yeah. And
they were talking about having been to see this twice, and just how they were blown away both by the band and by the music and the visuals. And I think it was both nights in London, two of the nights in London they went to.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they really need to stop being quite such Stephen Wilson fanboys, because it seems to be the only person they talk about at the moment. So,
well, look. We've talked about this album a lot, folks. What do you think of the album? We have a Facebook group, which has a really long name of Planet Marzipan Presents Planet Music, the album podcast. So please come and join the discussion on the Facebook group. Let us know what you think of the album. Let us know what you think of the podcast.
Rubbish.
Yeah, probably. But thanks for bearing with us. It's been another long old chat. I'm just going to go around the guys and ask for a final summing up of what they think of the overview by Stephen Wilson. And I'm going to start with the pop prog boy now, as he's now known, Mikey.
You're playing Genius or bollocks?
What do you think of it? Just a couple of sentences, Mikey.
Now that she's been into space, Katy Perry's got a lot to live up for her next album.
Yes.
It's pure genius. Go and listen to it.
Thank you. Craig?
It's genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not something I would go back to that regularly, but I think it's one of those things that I'll go back to treat myself, and I'm really, really looking forward and hoping that we'll get an audio-visual version of it.
Gray?
I can only listen to it in two ways. I can either listen to the extra tracks from Disconnected, the single edits, so not as an album, or I have to sit and listen to the whole thing, because it is such a journey from start to finish. And I will say my opinion. So I think I loved this. I loved the first track and wasn't sure about the second track when we first heard it. Having seen it live, it's the other way around, actually. The second track is just, the overview is just mind-blowing.
It's highly recommended. If you're a Stephen Wilson fan, you'll know that. If you're not, give it a try. All that remains to say is thank you to Graham Tennick.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, Mikey K.
And thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig the Houston.
Thomas's.
It's good night from me, Mezza.
And it's Ganymede from me.
Take care.
And stay alive. Yay!
Hey.
Thanks for listening
to Planet Music from the makers of Planet Marzipan.
If you like what you've heard, please like and subscribe, and maybe even join our Facebook discussion group.
You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com.